The United States has seized a plane belonging to Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro. The aircraft is now at Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport.
Now, this plane is described as his version of Air Force One. Federal agents could be seen removing items from the aircraft this afternoon.
We have team coverage tonight looking at why the U.S. seized the plane and reaction from the Venezuelan community here in South Florida.
So let's begin with CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten, who is in Fort Lauderdale for us. Ted?
Yeah, Elliot and Lauren, tonight we are hearing from the Venezuelan government saying that the U.S. illegally confiscated that plane, going on to say that no country is safe from these illegal actions. Meanwhile, Homeland Security said they were justified by U.S. sanction laws. Evidence boxes are removed from the Dassault Falcon 900EX. It's the plane used by Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro since May of last year.
Today we've seized a Venezuelan-owned aircraft predominantly used by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in violation of U.S. sanctions and other matters that we're looking at into the aircraft.
According to investigators, persons affiliated with Maduro allegedly used a Caribbean-based shell company to conceal their involvement in the illegal purchase from a company based in the Southern District of Florida. The aircraft was then illegally exported from the United States to Venezuela through the Caribbean in April of 2023.
This plane was predominantly utilized by Nicolas Maduro on numerous state visits. It's traveled to numerous countries on state visits with Nicolas Maduro. It's been utilized for a lot of official business for the Venezuelan government.
Anthony Salisbury from Homeland Security Investigations in Miami said Maduro's been on their radar for a while.
We've disrupted the flow of over $2 billion and indicted over 30 members of the Maduro regime, associates, and facilitators. So we are constantly looking at the corrupt practices and illegal activities of the Maduro regime.
Salisbury said the seizure of Maduro's jet sends a strong message.
It says that HSI Miami, HSI on the whole, and its partners have the expertise, the global reach, and the partnerships to impact anyone, including heads of state who think they're untouchable.
Now, that plane tonight is here at the airport in a hangar. Meanwhile, Homeland Security said they're beginning what's called forfeiture proceedings, which could eventually lead to the sale of that plane. Back to Venezuela, what they're saying tonight is they reserve the right to take legal action as well as seek damages. Live in Fort Lauderdale, Ted Scouten, CBS News, Miami.
Ted, thank you. And today's plane seizure sparking strong reaction in South Florida's Venezuelan community.
Our team coverage continues now in Doral. That's where CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor is tonight with what people are saying there. Yvonne?
And we're talking about a $13 million aircraft, Elliot and Lauren. But Venezuelans here are focused beyond the economic value of the plane, but instead of the gesture of the U.S. government by confiscating this plane that allegedly was not used only by Maduro.
People is thinking that the sanctions will hurt the Venezuelan people, and not. The sanctions are with name and last name, Nicolás Maduro. So they went against his plane.
And that is how these men and Venezuelans who gather at this landmark in Doral see the seizure of this plane, considered the Air Force One of Venezuela.
As far as I know, it was used mostly by Delcy Rodriguez to go and do the dirty job around countries close to Venezuela.
She's the vice president.
And she is the vice president of Venezuela.
Ackerman says Maduro's vice president would fly on this plane for special missions to Cuba, Spain, and Nicaragua, as well as other close to Maduro's government.
The question many people will say is, why now?
Well, we're after the elections of 28th of July that we won 70% against 30% of Maduro. I think we have a bigger chance than ever to get rid of Maduro.
The international community, including the U.S., is not recognizing the presidential results claimed by Nicolás Maduro. But Maduro himself subpoenaed opposition leader Edmundo González. Some Venezuelans interpret today's actions as a warning to Maduro.
De que vamos en buen camino.
I see this as a move in the right direction, a solid sign that the U.S. could finally show Nicolás Maduro, careful with what you do.
And the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, which means the government of Nicolás Maduro, already responded to the actions done by the United States, and they're reporting this as a criminal practice that cannot be defined other than piracy from the United States. Evidently, we are going to be following this story, which we are sure there will be a lot more to come. We are live in Doral. Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
And we will continue following this story and bring you the latest on air and on CBSMiami.com.